So today's workshop is College and Careers Personalized Support Planning, and I'm really excited to introduce to you Tara Howe, HireAbility Vermont, the Transition Program Manager, Brya Emery, College Steps Director of Admissions and Enrollment, Chris Kennedy, College Steps Regional Director, and Dana Oliver, Program Manager at the Community College of Vermont, or CCV. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tara Howe. I'm the Transition Program Manager from HireAbility Vermont, formerly known as Vocational Rehabilitation. And we're really excited to be here today to talk to you a little bit about opportunities when we're thinking about supporting youth and young adults, and really adults too, within HireAbility, and moving forward and having experiences to support careers. So additional education and training. And if you're interested, by the way, to learn more about why we changed our name to HireAbility Vermont, better representing our day-to-day work, we did do a presentation on March 16th that is on the VFN website. It was recorded. So if you're interested to know more, happy to share that link. And I believe that Rachel will be doing that shortly in the chat. So I just wanted to give a quick reminder about who HireAbility Vermont is. We have been dedicated to helping Vermonters living with disabilities achieve employment and vocational goals for years. And we work with individuals as young as 14 all the way through however long individuals want to work. And the services we provide are not just about finding a job, but also obtaining the training, education, and credentials needed for higher wage career opportunities. And we really believe in partnership, that it's working together alongside the student, young adult, and with the family to ensure that we're thinking about not only what are the needs right now, but long-term. I think in the past, people may think that HireAbility was just for that for now job. We firmly believe in supporting individuals, not only thinking about that in the moment, but what are their career goals and how can we support you to move forward with it. And that being said, there's so many community partners that we work with to make that happen. And CCV and College Steps are a few of them we're going to be highlighting today. Before I get into that and you get to hear from them, I want to just remind you a little bit about our transition program and HireAbility, that we have 26 transition counselors, at least 2 in each district office, who are serving ages 14 through the age of 24. So really to highlight that we firmly believe it's important to have that same counselor who's supporting the youth and the family, because it's really a family system transition shift from high school to whatever life after high school looks like. And it does vary. We know that everybody has different strengths and interests and goals, and we want to support that and support the idea of there's lots of possibilities, and how do we help you get there? When we're working with students in school, it's those who are on IEPs or 504s that we are working with within the schools. That our transition counselors have established relationships with all the schools in their area. Each transition counselor has assigned schools, and that information is on the website. That the transition counselor has right alongside a youth employment specialist who's hired through the Vermont Association of Business, Industry, and Rehabilitation to be the employment arm to help make those connections with the employers and the community around work readiness skills, around what we call progressive employment. So it could be job shadows or informational interviews, company tours, short-term paid work experiences, of course, all the way through to competitive integrated employment. And then services and activities are really based on what students are most interested in. And we really focus on making sure that students have opportunities that aligns with where they're at. So we have pre-employment transition services, which we're required to provide. And there's 5 activities around self-advocacy, work readiness, work-based learning, post-secondary, and career exploration. Now, again, every individual is at different places within that. And so we want to provide opportunities that really aligns with that and help them grow. So just to also say a little bit about the adult program. Next slide, please, Chris. Thank you. Is that we are serving those over the age of 24 too. There are a large group of counselors who are also serving those adults, so 25 and over. And again, in every district office, and anyone with a disability or chronic health condition may be eligible. And again, designed to meet the needs of the individual participants. And we do vocational counseling, assessments, we have work incentive counseling. And so thinking about benefits, I know a lot of people have questions about SSI. For adults, maybe SSDI. We have work incentive counselors who can support that. And by the way, that does include for transition as well. So if there are youth and families who have questions about that and what that means for work, we can also support around that. Progressive employment, I mentioned already. I want to talk a little bit more about progressive education, job placement, retention services, and connection to assistive technology as well. And of course, we're here today to talk about our interagency partnerships, starting, of course, with Vermont Family Network. We've been working with Vermont Family Network for a very long time, and our connections to families are crucial to be able to be most effective in supporting youth. We like to hear, want to hear from families too in this process, because as much as we know the student should be the center, young adult, youth, adult, whoever it might be, that family is an integral part as well. And we want to really respect that and work, again, right alongside you to move that forward. Next slide, please, Chris. So you may have questions just about what does all of this mean, all that information I just shared. So we actually have a new website that connects to HireAbility Vermont that beautifully represents so much of the work, because I can talk to you for hours about this work, but the real impact is hearing directly from the consumers and whom we've served, the youth, the young adults, the adults. So there is a specific section for youth. And I think Brya is showing that to you. And then within it, there's just information on how to get connected. It talks a little bit about our summer program. We have a summer career exploration program that happens, and just a lot of different great information. And like I said, there are some videos as well to be able to see in action the work that we do. So that being said, we'll put that link, it's both on the PowerPoint and we'll put it in the chat so you have that information available. The only other thing I want to say, so we use the language progressive education, and I just want to define that a little bit in what this means. So just as I talked about progressive employment and the opportunity that and the thought that everybody is ready for something, we have the same philosophy around progressive education. And we also believe that there's situations in which either somebody's had a really negative experience in education in some way, and so is really hesitant to do any additional education and training, or somewhere along the way, they got the idea that maybe someone said that they weren't post-secondary college material or something along those lines. And we really believe in, I speak also from working directly with youth and young adults, that the opportunity to demystify what those experiences are and to be able to check it out in a pace that works for them. So in progressive education, it could be starting with a campus tour or a meeting with a coordinator or a professor. It could be auditing a class. It could be some of these other things that Dana's going to talk about. There's lots of opportunities, and we just wanted to make sure that families also hear about this because there are so many ways. Dual enrollment is important in the process, but it's not the only option. There's a lot of different things that can happen to help support an individual explore what they want to do and how to get there and start to have experiences about what it really means. I've worked with students in the past who thought that post-secondary education was not something as a possibility, and then they went to go visit directly on a CCV site, and it's like the world opened up to them in a whole new and different way. And so we really come from that philosophy. And I also want to say really clearly, additional education and training may not be for everybody, and that's okay too. We want to make sure that all students and families have the information so that you can make an informed decision on what the possibilities are, and that we provide opportunities and support as you're making those decisions. So that being said, I'm going to stop and I'm going to hand it over to Dana.
Thanks, Tara, and good morning, everyone. I'm Dana Oliver, and I'm from CCV, the Community College of Vermont, and my official title is Program Manager for Secondary Education Initiatives, which just means that I help manage our programs for students and families to access CCV in middle school and high school. And I'm here to talk to you about some of those opportunities today because there's a lot of opportunities. And as Tara was talking about, I often work directly with middle schoolers and high schoolers, and I bring them here to the CCV Center, and there are many doors that are opened up for them. And so I want to tell you about some of these opportunities today. CCV, my work is I help students learn about college and career pathways in middle school, earn free college credit while in high school, and earn a free associate degree after high school if they participate in the early college program, and get individualized support along the way. CCV is also committed to the idea of supporting individuals and that everybody is ready for something, and that everyone can be a college student at CCV. So here are some basic CCV facts. CCV is open admissions. So there are fewer barriers to access CCV than perhaps other traditional four-year institutions. There's no essay required, there's no SAT or ACT required for admission, there's no application fees. Academic advising is essential at CCV because we do value that one-on-one support, which means that every CCV student works directly with an advisor, and that advisor helps that student to plan their college and career pathway. And it's quite personalized. And thank you, Chris, for going to the next slide. And here is just some CCV trivia for those of you who may not be familiar with CCV. So it's Vermont's second largest college. And the idea of CCV is to bring post-secondary education to Vermont communities. And so CCV is in many, many Vermont communities. There are 12 locations plus online, and there are CCV centers, campuses, within 25 miles of most Vermonters. And a little bit about our student population. 77% of students attend part-time. Our average class size here is 13 students. We really like to keep the education as individualized as possible, and thus we keep the class size small. We have 3 semesters, fall, spring, and summer. And So we have a continuum of opportunities for middle schoolers and high schoolers to begin exploring college and careers and to start earning college credit. The first opportunity in that continuum is called Access Days. And that's when we bring a group of students to a CCV center to learn about college and career pathways. We set up mini college classes for them to take, and they can get a feel for what it's like to be in a college class. We also make sure to make it fun. We play games, win prizes, we eat pizza, we have fun. And yes, and Access Days are so wonderful, and they really, they do give students a sense that they have options and that they can start accessing those options very soon. The next step on the continuum is a free course for any Vermont student from 8th to 12th grade. It's called Introduction to College and Careers. We call it ICC for short. We love our acronyms. Most high schools give high school credit, and it helps students explore career and education interests and options for the future, and gives them very practical skills too, like how to write a resume and how to apply for college. So it's a wonderful course that covers a lot about college and career exploration. The next step on the continuum is dual enrollment, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of. The dual enrollment program is all Vermont juniors and seniors are eligible to take 2 college courses, and we call them vouchers, dual enrollment vouchers. And a lot of people are confused by that phrase. And I explain it by saying every junior and senior gets 2 free tickets for college courses. And that's just in the junior and senior year, dual enrollment vouchers. And dual enrollment is a great way for students to get a sense of what it's like to be in a college class and at the same time earn college credit and start their college transcript that way too, and entirely for free. We also have a program called the Fast Forward program, which means that high school students in Vermont technical centers can take college classes that are part of secondary to post-secondary career pathways. Courses are taught by technical center teachers as part of an approved program, and there are vouchers, tickets for this too. So for students who are in technical centers, they can take CCV courses using those vouchers for free. And that's called the Fast Forward program. Okay, I know I'm going quickly, but there's a lot of opportunities that I want to make sure I talk to you about. The next one is called Early College. Early College is just for Vermont high school seniors. And Vermont high school seniors can apply to the Early College program, and they spend their entire senior year taking all their academic courses at CCV. They earn college credits that count on their college transcript, and simultaneously they're earning high school graduation credits. So they do both. And students can still participate in sports or extracurricular activities at their high school while they are doing early college and taking all their academic courses at CCV. And it's a pretty amazing way for students to earn 30 plus credits of for college, and also graduate from high school that way. And so that is just for high school seniors. And then if students participate in the early college program at CCV, then they are eligible to continue on and be enrolled in the McClure Free Degree Promise program. And that means that students who do their early college year during their senior year of high school at CCV, then they can continue on for the next year and their tuition is paid for, and they can earn a free associate degree at CCV. The McClure Free Degree Promise covers tuition and fees, after any federal and state financial aid, and provides enhanced career and education advising, as well as stipends to help with books, transportation, and other costs associated with going to college. So on top of tuition being paid for in the McClure Free Degree Promise program, there's also a stipend for that students receive in the fall and spring semesters to help them with costs like transportation or paying for books. So that was really quick, but that is kind of our continuum of opportunities for students to access college and career planning and college credit early in middle school and high school. I didn't get into the details of this, but we also work very closely with HireAbility, and there are many opportunities for Vermonters youth to access CCV. And if you are confused about, okay, what do I do? How do I access CCV? You can contact me and I can point you in the right direction and connect you with the right person to get you started. Chris, I might have one more slide. I'm not sure. Yes, thanks. So I also just wanted to mention, I've talked about how we like to individualize our support here at CCV. And we have accessibility services. We have designated academic advisors that help students navigate the process for receiving accommodations at CCV. And the college accommodations process does differ from high school. Students must self-disclose a disability to begin that process. And then they work closely with that designated academic advisor. We call them TASCs. It's another acronym, but it's a designated academic advisor that helps them navigate the accessibility services and gets them accommodations in their classes. Okay, maybe I have one more slide. Yes, this is the last one. So you can check out these websites to learn more. I know I was speaking very quickly and there's a lot of information. Go to collegevt.org. We'll explain everything that I just mentioned. And you can also check out ccv.edu. And this is my email address, dana.oliver@ccv.edu. If you have further questions, if you're wondering how to access these opportunities, I can answer those and or point you in the right direction so that you can access these opportunities. Thank you everyone for listening to me today, and please do contact me if you have questions. Okay, and now I am going to pass it over to Brya.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brya Emery. I'm the Director of Admissions and Enrollment for College Steps in the College Compass program. Chris is going to be giving the presentation. We'll show a short video, and I'm also happy to answer any questions in the chat as well. Chris.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Kennedy, Regional Director for College Steps, and I oversee all our programs here in Vermont. Today, we'll kind of be talking about the College Compass program. Before I dive into it, I just want to encourage anybody that's thinking about college to reach out to Dana. I mean, CCV has so many access points, whether it's in high school, after high school, so many kind of funding opportunities that's really unique. I think Vermont and CCV are really ahead of the curve there. So I encourage you to reach out and get more information about any of those that might apply to you. College Steps, we've been here in Vermont operating for over 10 years. Really, what our program does is it helps youth and young adults transition to college and become more independent at college as they transition to more independence and autonomy after college. What we're talking about today is specifically the College Compass program, which is serves a real broad set of students. We know that there's not a typical student at CCV. There's not a typical time or circumstance in which college would be appropriate for somebody. So we're here to support all those students. We really focus on the academic support and self-advocacy pieces. While there are tons of opportunities at CCV, a lot of times it's on students to access those. And so we're kind of that bridge to help connect with students, get them comfortable accessing those things that are already available on campus, and just building their own kind of healthy habits for college. We have built this program in partnership with HireAbility, and it includes kind of peer mentors, so other college students who are at the institution, who have already kind of proven that they know how to navigate these systems. And in today's world, post-COVID, there's a lot more online and virtual components to classes, and our mentors have experienced that and learned to navigate that, and they can work closely with students to help them navigate that. We also have a program coordinator on campus who meets with students to provide kind of that counseling and help them as they kind of decide what their goals are, better understand what things are working for them, what aren't, make schedule adjustments, and identify what barriers, whether that's in the college setting and academically or outside, what other areas of their life are kind of getting in the way. Maybe they need help advocating to a boss to make sure they have a consistent schedule so they're not missing classes and have designated time to do homework. So we can support students with all those kind of class-related assignments and activities, as well as some of those non-academic things that they just need to process so they can be more ready to be successful at college. Overall, our program is based on the idea that students can access 4 to 10 hours of support a week. Those hours are determined by our coordinator and kind of in collaboration with the team. Many students, as I said, see this as an academic support program, right? They want to make sure they're staying on top of their classes, they're not procrastinating. So they might have 2 or 3 kind of independent homework times with a mentor each week, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. And that helps them kind of break down their large tasks, prioritize what homework needs to get done, what things they want to do in a session with support, what things they want to do independently in between sessions. We know lots of students, and a lot of the students we serve can kind of get anxious about large assignments, which then will lead to them procrastinating. They want to avoid that. They'll end up doing it the night before. When they have this kind of paced routine of having a homework time every other week, mentors can help them stay on top of things, break down those overwhelming assignments into small, manageable chunks. Let's knock this out today, and we know what our plan is for knocking out those other pieces. These students also will have access to kind of a check-in and a check-out with our program coordinator or mentors, where they can review whatever goals they have that they're working towards. They can also just make sure at the beginning and end of the day that they're kind of organized. You know what you have to do today, you know where that assignment is that you need to turn in. And then at the end of the day, let's review what you went over in class, make sure you are highlighting the main points, and then you know what you need to do tonight or over the next couple of days before your next class or next session with us. Students can also access group-based homework supports where maybe they have their designated one-on-one homework times, but that week they feel like they have a little heavier load, want a little extra support. We have some drop-in homework sessions that they can jump into as they see necessary. We also offer a kind of a community skills class. I wouldn't say it's a class as much as it's kind of a group session where our students, our mentors, our program coordinator, we're all working through those necessary adult skills to be successful. So it always starts with organization and time management. Do we have a calendar and a place where we write important information? Some people do that on paper and they like the planners. Some people are doing that on their phone or on a virtual-based calendar. We make sure students have a system that works for them and get comfortable accessing it, have their class materials organized so they have that solid foundation for the rest of the semester. From there, the community skills class goes into managing anxiety and stress, navigating the social world, managing conflict and negotiation, and everything beyond that to financial independence, accessing campus and community resources, and really individualized based on what students want to focus on. Again, this is an optional component. Not all our students see this as necessary or want to be involved in that. They want to stick strictly to the academic component. What do I need to get done to continue doing well in my class? And we're happy to keep it in that realm as well. One of the big strengths of our program, I think, is facilitating the academic advising, the accommodations, the counseling. It's largely helping students access all these wonderful things that CCV and some of our other colleges already offer, but really require them to take that first step or walk through that door or send that email or disclose that disability. So we know a lot of students going to college are eligible for accommodations, right? Maybe extended time on exams, exam in a quiet area, preferential seating, a number of other things. We also know that most students that are eligible for those don't ever access them and don't use them regularly. So we can help students support them in, meeting with them if they're get more comfortable disclosing their disability, if that's something they're ready to do, so they can get those accommodations in place. If they want extended time on a exam or a test, they need to let their professor know in advance, not the morning of, not the night before. So our mentors can also help students initiate their accommodations each time they want to use them, which is a big step. I think Dana mentioned this. This is a big step from high school, where the high school is required to provide your accommodations. In college, it's solely on the student to initiate those accommodations. So we want to kind of support students as they get comfortable and independent in kind of this new level of expectation around reaching out for accommodations. The same would go for tutoring, making sure they're meeting with their advisors, so they're setting up and doing the right classes they need to move through the progression of their major. All things CCV does really well, but sometimes just the fact that our mentors and us are meeting with students so regularly, we can kind of poke and use that relationship we've built with them to encourage them to reach out or respond to that email that came from CCV so they can keep those things moving. All this really relates to that promotion of self-advocacy skills. The whole idea of our program is to work ourselves out of a job. Ideally, students are coming into our support as something that's supplemental to CCV. We're connecting them to all those things that already exist on campus, getting them comfortable accessing them, getting them independent in accessing them, and building good habits around studying, homework, time management, so that as they build that comfort and that independence, we're slowly backing out. And eventually they're continuing on at college without our support, with all those things in place. The application process, we have rolling admissions. We do look for a priority applications to come in by March 1st, but we recognize that, many students aren't going to decide whether they're going to college in the fall until part of the way through the summer, especially those coming out of high school. They're going to take a lot of time to kind of transition out, make that decision around what the next step is. That's okay. But the sooner we get applications, the quicker we can get connected to teams and help support you in that process. Students that are eligible for the program are those that can access any of those classes that CCV or the other campuses have to offer. So just like Dana talked about, early college students, dual enrollment, doing the ICC, the Introduction to College and Careers course. We have students who are, already in college and are finding that they would benefit from supplemental support. We have non-traditional students who may be returning to college for a second career or going to college for the first time later in life with kids. And so we have a set of mentors that are there to support all of them. We have a wide range of mentors for this program, both young adults making the natural transition out of high school, as well as those non-traditional students. We have mentors that we can pair our students with who are their peers, who have had similar life experience, and can meet with them weekly to help them move through their homework, their studying, navigating other things in life that are getting in the way of them being successful. What we look for eligibility is that someone has an open case with HireAbility and that their counselor makes a referral. So if you're interested in the program, reach out to HireAbility or your counselor there to see if your team thinks you'd be a good fit. We're currently offering our College Compass program at Castleton University, as well as the two Northern Vermont University campuses, Johnson and Linden. And currently at Community College of Vermont at Montpelier, St. Albans, and Winooski, but we're definitely expanding that College Compass program across the CCV network. So if you're attending a different college that isn't on this list, be sure to still reach out to your counselor to see if this is an option for you or if we've added those campuses. You can see a basic instruction to our kind of application. We have an online application. It's pretty straightforward. And you can see some of the notes here, some of the things that you'd want to fill out if you follow through with that. Real quickly, I just want to highlight an example student. We don't have a typical student, but Callie, who attended our College Compass program at Castleton University, I think is a great example of a type of student we could support. Callie really wanted to build a career around horsemanship and eventually attend a college that specialized in that. What she struggled with were some of those more academic classes that were the building block for any major. So she chose to use our program at Castleton to knock out those math, those writing, those basic science classes that she needed in order to transfer to the college that focused on horsemanship. She also joined a horsemanship club that they had at Castleton, but was a little anxious about going independently. And we found a mentor who was also interested in that. And so she was able to have one of our mentors actually go to the social, the club events with her. And once she got more comfortable and connected with those people, the mentor still went because they ended up joining the club as well, but they didn't go as a support for Callie because she built those natural connections and those natural supports. And I think that's a good example of what all our mentors are trying to do, not be somebody's forever support, but help connect them to the natural supports that already exist at the college, that already exist in the classrooms or the clubs, so they can fade out as students get more comfortable with that. So I think we have a short video that's kind of a family talking about their experience, and then we'll hand it back over to Martha. Brya, I don't think we can hear the audio.
My name is Jenny. My son Finnegan is part of the College Compass program. And one of the things that I have enjoyed most for him is seeing how he's flourished, especially with executive functioning, organizing, and just being more prepared as an adult with a disability, being a college student, and really wanting to reach those same goals that anybody would want to reach, going to college and experiencing becoming independent as an adult. And I have noticed huge changes in him as a student since he's been part of the College Compass program. And it's actually been like for me as a mom, a single mom for most of his younger years, seeing him now be so independent, and it gives me a little bit of a break because I know now he's learning to find other resources that can support him as an adult out in the world, separate from, being at home under my wing, so to speak. So I love the program completely for him. And I think he really has enjoyed being part of the College Compass program.
And for me, College Compass has been pretty great. So far, it's, all the help that I need is on whatever I'm working on. It also kind of teaches you how to organize your work. And so you're not, just throwing it all into a massive file on your computer or, throwing it into a backpack or somewhere. So it really helps you, organize everything. And once you're organized, school just flies right by. I mean, you know where everything goes, you just put it away. Everything's, scheduled. You have your little schedule you do each week. And once you keep on track, it's like pretty much like clockwork. And it's just great so far.
And just real quickly, Finn was an excellent example of how the program's supposed to work. He came in anxious about college, but didn't really want to get a support from a bunch of adults. So he got connected with these peer mentors, built these strong relationships. He was on for a couple semesters, just really digging into that support. And I think it was his third semester, we thought he was ready to be independent. He was anxious about that. So we left some minimal hours of support there. I think just as a safety net for him, kind of in his head, pretty soon he realized he wasn't accessing those. He didn't need those. We faded out, and he's continuing on at CCV, doing really well and really confidently. He's accessing his accommodations. He's continuing to be organized, and advocate to his professor when he doesn't understand something. So he's just a prime example of students getting connected and confident with those things that already exist at CCV and in their classes, that they just need a little more help getting independent with. So I'll hand it over to Martha.
Thank you very much, Chris. Before we move on to questions, I just thought it might be a good time to address what Tara had mentioned in the very beginning. Why is Vermont Family Network here, and why are we hosting this webinar? We have a very important collaborative relationship with HireAbility and the other folks that have been presenting today. It's really important to all of us at Vermont Family Network that families know about all of the opportunities out there for their students. Many families we work with are not aware of all the various programs and opportunities, and all the studies show that the more opportunities young people have to explore new things, try progressive education and progressive employment, pursue different training opportunities, leads to better outcomes in their adult life. So for the families who are on here today, please help spread the word that we've had this webinar today, and it will be again posted on our VFN YouTube. But again, it's important for folks to know about our partnership with HireAbility. We've been partnering a long time and been very excited to watch them go through the many changes since 2014 in their efforts to further support young people, transition age youth, and watch them go through the changes with the marketing with HireAbility. So we really appreciate our partnership with everyone on our today's presentation. And now I think I'm going to open it up to some questions. The very first one that came up when Tara Howe was speaking. There were some questions about what does assistive technology look like? Bear with me a moment. I just want to make sure I get the exact question. The question, what type of assistive technology can students access? And this was asked during Tara's session. Tara?
Sure. So if it is a high school student, so in-school student, as we define it, we need to be very careful that we don't usurp or supplant anything that's related to curriculum access within the high school, that's the school's responsibility. When we talk about some of these post-secondary opportunities and there's need for support there, potentially HireAbility could help support that individual get connected to the assistive technology program. We work directly with them. That being said, assistive technology program is not exclusive to HireAbility. It is something that is accessible for everybody. So I believe that Cody had put in the chat the website, and please check that out. But it's very individualized. So to say it's one thing or another, it is very different depending upon the student consumer's needs and how we can best support them, whether it be, I know we're talking about post-secondary education and training, but it could also be at a workplace too.
Tara, can you also talk a little bit about VCAP?
Sure. I wanted, go ahead.
And the link to the workshop.
Oh yeah. So I felt like I would be remiss. This presentation today, we really wanted to focus on College Compass and CCV and that partnership. There's a lot of partnerships and lots of initiatives going on to help support individuals and being able to look at career opportunities and advance. And one of them is the Vermont Career Advancement Project. And I know Rich is actually on here, or was on here at one point. And really excited to be part of this program as well. That's a 5-year project. And Rich actually had the opportunity to do a VFN presentation, and they put that in the link if you want to know more. And there's Rich right there. You can see his smiling face.
Thanks, Tara. I appreciate the brief promo, but yes, the link is right there. If people want to learn more about VCAP and what opportunities that presents for folks through HireAbility around the state, they may want to watch that one and find out a bit more. And if anybody has specific questions about it, they're welcome to reach out to me as well.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich. I'd also like to mention, and I think it'll be placed in the chat, part of our partnership with HireAbility has been the development of the Transition Toolkit, which sits on the Vermont Family Network website. We also host core team pages with lots of information about happenings across the state with all the transition counselors and teams across the state that support transition age youth. So here comes another question. Earlier in the presentation, there was mention at CCV around the AccuPlacer being used for guidance. Can we talk a little bit about the AccuPlacer as far as how it works with early college, dual enrollment? Is it a requirement? I know families have looked at the AccuPlacer sometimes as a barrier to admission, so that might be a great place to pause for a moment. Dana?
Yeah, thanks, Martha. And thanks for that question. So AccuPlacer is a test that is used at CCV to guide placement in certain courses. And right now, during the pandemic, it was put on pause, and right now it is optional. And the future of AccuPlacer is a little bit uncertain right now at CCV. So I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen with it, but right now it is optional. And historically, how we have used it is for students make an appointment and take the AccuPlacer test, test them mostly on math and reading and writing, and that is used as a guide for how to place the student in a particular math or a particular English course. And that's how we've used it in the past. Right now it's optional, and we'll let you know when we have more information about the future of AccuPlacer.
I'm happy to hear that. I know in the past it's been a barrier for some families as far as the admissions process. Mm-hmm. I'm looking in the chat. I do see that the Transition Toolkit has been listed in the chat, and I'm going to see if we have any more questions. I will say, I know that in our participant list, we do have families and we have professionals. And I do want to mention to everyone that our family consultants on our helpline are very knowledgeable about all of these different programs and initiatives. And whether you're a parent, a youth, or a professional, I would invite you to contact our family consultants. If you have questions about any one of these, we'd be happy to connect with you. I'll give it a minute. Any other questions coming up? Rachel, I don't know if I can see any more. Are there any more that have come up? Okay, there's a question. Will you be sending out this recorded presentation? I'd love to share it with other team members from the Burlington School District that I work with. Yes, the recording will be sent out. And I would hope that each and every core team does get to look at this and share it with folks at school. I will tell you, historically, over years, when I think back to dual enrollment, we didn't have a great trajectory in our state for a while, where the dual enrollment opportunities weren't as widely sought after with youth with disabilities. And I understand those numbers have been changing. So the more folks that know about this, the better, as far as students, youth, and family having a menu of choices of what's out there for them. And again, if folks need to, please contact family consultants at Vermont Family Network. So I'll throw it out one more time, and I get
Martha, if I could jump in for just a second, there's a couple things I wanted to. So I'm so happy that we're able to do this today, because I think not only from HireAbility's perspective and really wanting to reinforce that we believe in supporting youth, young adults, adults with disabilities to be able to move forward and earn not only that first job, but to be able to move up and higher wage and expand and grow and have as many opportunities and be thinking about those dream jobs and to be able to support. That we are really in support of that through both our contract with College Compass and our support and contract with CCV. And I also want to mention is that people were asking about AccuPlace, our current relationship with CCV. We actually are helping for those who are connected directly with HireAbility, that potentially we could help with the cost of developmental courses if that was a need along the way. And we just really want to ensure that individuals with disabilities, no matter the age, have every opportunity to explore and know what the options are so that they can make informed decisions and really be able to vision where they want to go.
Thank you, Tara. And it's really been wonderful to see the emphasis on career. It's not just about getting a job. It's about a career path. And it's been wonderful to watch all those shifts. So at this point, I think we're done with questions. I'd like to thank everyone, except I see Chris Kennedy putting his thumb up.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one more comment. I know on our slides, I kind of listed the current locations that we're offering College Compass in Vermont. We're working closely with HireAbility to expand that. The ultimate goal is for this to be accessible to any student in Vermont at any of the CCV locations. So if there is an interest, it could be that we're opening that location in the coming fall or soon thereafter. So anybody that's interested within the state in that College Compass support should definitely connect with HireAbility. We want to know where the demand is. We want to know if there's a student that's really interested and really motivated. Let's see how we can make it work, even if we haven't opened that campus yet. So I don't want anybody to be discouraged by what campuses were our current operations, and rather reach out to help us understand where that need is so that we can find a way to support you.
Thank you, Chris. And for the families out there, if your youth has not been connected with HireAbility, perhaps if you haven't heard anything from your school, a parent is certainly welcome to reach out to HireAbility. Sometimes the referrals come through schools, but a parent can make those referrals also. So before we move on any further, I just want to make sure that it's really important that we do a survey. It's really important for us to plan future surveys, make sure we're meeting everyone's needs. The survey, I believe, is in the link in the chat. Let me just double check that it's in here. And I think will also be sent out in a follow-up email. Please take a minute to fill out the survey. It's really important for us to make improvements and fulfill our grant requirements. Please do share what you learned today with as many folks as you can also. We have many, many more interesting workshops coming up, and you can find the details about all of those on our homepage of our website, which is vermontfamilynetwork.org, along with the links to the previously recorded ones. We have tons of information on our website. Please check out the transition toolkit. And getting connected is really easy. You can follow up on a Facebook or join a closed Facebook page if you're a parent. We also have 2 closed Facebook pages. One's for all parents of children with disabilities and special needs, and one is for parents who have adult children. You can also sign up for a monthly e-newsletter, check out our YouTube channel. We're here to help. Please contact us by phone or mail, and thanks everyone. Have a great day. Thank you to all of our presenters. Really appreciated all your presentations and the information you shared today. Thank you.